You were born perfect. When you came into this world, you were pure consciousness with unlimited potential. No limiting beliefs, no programmed fears, and no fixed identity telling you what you could or couldn't do. You can see it in children. They naturally believe anything is possible. They'll tell you they're going to be an astronaut, a scientist, and the president all in the same day, and they mean it. They live in pure awareness, without mental conditioning, without that voice in their head saying, be realistic. But something happens as we grow up. We start downloading programs. And I mean this literally. Your brain becomes a sponge, absorbing every message from parents, teachers, media, and peers. Fear-based conditioning gets installed, and you'll download programs like, money doesn't grow on trees, you're not smart enough, don't get your hopes up. And as a result, we download these limitations, and they become our identity. Most of these programs don't serve us. They hinder us and turn us into prisoners of our own minds. And here's the uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to hear. We become so attached to our programmed identity that we actually defend our limitations. We unknowingly choose thoughts, beliefs, and actions that keep us stuck because our current self feels safe, even when it's miserable. You're literally choosing familiar misery over unfamiliar happiness. But in today's video, you'll learn how to sacrifice your current self in order to replace it with the new self that is living the life you desire. You'll discover the exact method to dismantle your limiting identity and the step-by-step process to install your desired self, like upgrading software. Your dream life is waiting, but there's only room for one version of you. So the question is, are you ready to sacrifice who you've been for who you're meant to become? Let's dive in. Now let's get specific about what needs to be sacrificed. There's an individual who must be removed from the equation, and that individual has been with you your entire life. Your current programming is crawling with mind viruses that have infected your thinking and need to be completely removed from your mental operating system. These viruses come in the form of limiting beliefs, fears, worries, and even how you see yourself as a person. And here is something you must understand. Your deepest beliefs are like a computer program. They keep you running the same script over and over again. And the sad reality is that most people literally live the exact same day for years. They wake up, think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, make the same choices, and wonder why nothing changes. And this phenomenon is scientifically proven. Listen to this quote from Dr. Joe Dispenza.
We think somewhere between 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts in one day, and 90% of those thoughts are exactly the same ones we had the day before.
Think about that for a moment. 90% of your thoughts today are identical to yesterday's thought, which means you're literally thinking yourself into the same reality day after day after day. So if you want a different outcome, you need to install a different script. That means letting go of the self that clings to old narratives like, I'm just this way, this is how things are, I can't do that. These are comfortable lies that feel safe but cost you everything. And let me be clear, when I talk about sacrificing the old you, I don't mean this in a destructive way. I mean it in a transformative way, like a snake shedding its skin or a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. The old form must be released so the new form can emerge. So now the question is, how do you do this? Now here's something most people miss entirely. Transformation requires space. Think about a snake. When it's time to grow, it doesn't just stretch its old skin bigger. That skin has served its purpose and now has to be removed, see? The snake must literally shed that entire layer to reveal the new, expanded version underneath. And that's exactly what needs to happen with you. Your current identity, with all its habits, thought patterns, and emotional reactions, is like that old skin. It served you up until now. It kept you safe, helped you navigate your circumstances, and gave you a sense of who you are. But if you want to become something greater, that old version has to go. You can't hold on to old limiting beliefs while simultaneously embodying unlimited potential. The operating systems are incompatible. This is why most people stay stuck. They want the new results without creating space for the new self. It doesn't work because you're running conflicting programs. The new you cannot emerge until the old you steps aside, and that requires creating psychological, emotional, and even physical space. Psychological space means releasing the thoughts that no longer serve you. Emotional space means letting go of familiar feelings that keep you trapped in old patterns. Physical space might mean changing your environment, your routines, even your relationships that reinforce the old identity. This isn't destruction, it's transformation. The snake doesn't die when it sheds its skin. It becomes what it truly is. So now that you understand why the old you must be sacrificed and why you need to create space for transformation, the question becomes, how do you actually become this new version of yourself? Here's where most people get it backwards. They think they need to wait until they feel ready, until they have more confidence, or until circumstances change. But that's not how transformation works. The secret is this: you don't become your desired self and then start acting like them. You start acting like your desired self, and then you become the person. Let me introduce you to what I call the desired self practice. This is the most powerful identity transformation technique I've ever encountered, and it's surprisingly simple. From this moment forward, every single decision you make, and I mean every decision, gets filtered through one question. How would my desired self handle this? Not how would the current you handle it, not how you've always handled it, but how would the version of you that already has everything you want handle this exact situation? You need to reverse engineer the entire operating system. How would they think? What would they believe? What would be their identity? This is reverse engineering your future self. You're literally acting as if you are already that person until it becomes true. And here's why this works so powerfully. Your external reality is nothing more than a mirror of your internal state. If you want to live in a new world, you must first build it inside yourself, in your thoughts, beliefs, and identity. Change the inner script, and the outer reality has no choice but to follow. The beautiful thing about this practice is that it starts working immediately. The moment you begin asking, how would my desired self handle this? You're no longer operating from your old programming. You're accessing a higher level of consciousness, making choices from the identity you want to embody, rather than the identity you're trying to leave behind. Your brain doesn't know the difference between who you are and who you're acting like. To your nervous system, if you're consistently thinking, feeling, and behaving like your desired self, then that is who you are. This is how you install the new software. This is how you sacrifice the old self and birth the new one. But here's the key. You have to commit to this practice completely. You can't do it sometimes and expect transformation. The old you would make excuses. The old you would say, I'll start tomorrow. The old you would do it when they feel like it. But your desired self, they're disciplined, they're consistent, and they show up even when they don't feel like it. So, which version of you is going to finish watching this video and immediately start implementing what you've learned? The answer to that question will determine everything. Let me leave you with this truth. To create the life you want, you must sacrifice the version of yourself that's holding you back. Right now, as you're watching this, you have a choice to make. You can close this video and go back to being the same person who clicked on it, or you can decide that this is the moment everything changes. So here's what I want you to do. Decide who your new self is. Get crystal clear on this person. What do they believe? How do they act? What's their daily routine? How do they handle challenges? Write it down. Don't just think about it. Put pen to paper and describe this person in detail. Make it real and make it tangible. Start acting as if you are already them. From the moment you finish writing, every decision gets filtered through their consciousness. Every choice becomes an opportunity to embody this new identity. Because here's what I know for certain. The moment you do this, the moment you commit to sacrificing your old self for your new self, you've already begun the transformation. You don't need permission or perfect conditions. You just need to make a decision. And if you found this video valuable, if it's given you the clarity and courage to finally make this transformation, then hit that like button and subscribe for more content that will support you on this journey. Because your desired self, they're the type of person who takes action on valuable information. So prove to yourself right now that you're already becoming them. The old you dies today. The new you is born right now. What are you going to choose?